Hey guys, Kathleen Ferguson here, CEO and founder of Coach360. I had the opportunity to sit down with my friend Yvette Salva, who has an incredible story of her journey from being at literal rock bottom to overcoming all obstacles to get to where she is today, which is a strength and conditioning coach for women, a life coach, and an accomplished author who has gone on to inspire thousands, if not millions, with her book, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes. And yes, it's as wild of a story as the title of the book. And it's that for a reason. And I hope that you enjoy it. If you haven't seen this, go onto Amazon and buy it today and prepare to be inspired because her story is truly that. And I hope you enjoy the video series.
Hi everyone, Kathleen Ferguson here, CEO and founder at Coach360. I am so excited about the guest that we have today. Today we are joined by Yvette Salva, and she has an incredible story. Not only is she a health, fitness, and wellness professional, but she is also a renowned author. So Yvette, you have an incredible story that I want to share with our community. Can you talk about your journey in health, fitness, and wellness, where you started and where you are today with that Salva Fitness and all of the incredible initiatives that you're doing? You're an author, you're doing all these cool things. Talk to us about that.
What happened was at 16 years old, I started teaching group fitness. It was the 80s, it was like pink carpeting. It was like high impact aerobics was the rage. And I was doing like the jogging to the side, the grapevine with the knee. And that was my intro, like holiday with the arm circles, the whole nine. And I've been in fitness ever since. It started with a little bit more of an addiction because my addiction was weight loss. I was anorexic at the time, so I wanted to always be working out and it was always about the cardio. As I went through my journey through anorexia and bulimia and then drugs and alcohol, fitness was actually the savior of my entire life. I don't think I would be sitting here today with you, Kathleen, if it was not for fitness. But it changed from cardio and burning calories to building strength with the iron. So for me, my whole journey is about the gym teaches you everything you need to know in life. Adding another rep, showing up on time, cleaning your space, being nice to others. It's just, it really, that book, Everything You Learned in Kindergarten. Everything I learned in the gym with the iron. And so it's been my savior. It's literally like the Prozac to keep me sane.
That's amazing, and that resonates a lot with me as well. And I know we have a mutual friend in Todd Durkin. That's how I came to meet you. It was through Todd's Impact Speaker course with Travis. Talk to me about how you kind of connected with Todd, and I know that you became a life coach as well. Talk to me about that connection.
So Todd, he's the man. He's got the juju. I'll never forget I was at Idea Fitness. It was probably like 10, 15 years ago. And he had the Eminem song, one shot. He comes out. There's like 20 people in a
With the
classroom
hood, with
with
the
the
hoodie.
hoodie, the gray hoodie up. And he
Yeah.
has the Eminem song. And I'm like ready to like start boxing. And I was like, man, this guy so spikes. Like he just energized me. He like brought whatever it was that I needed in my soul, it came through Todd Durkin. That day, that precise moment, that moment hearing the Eminem song, you got one shot. And he just spoke to me about like the vulnerability of sharing your story, about how you can get up. I was in a really dark time in my life at the time. His message hit home to me. And then whatever he was selling, I was buying. I was like, sign me
Right.
up. I drank the Kool-Aid. So I did the life coaching. I did the speaker course. I've been involved in his mastermind. I mean, he really has a gift to get your mind right, but he also has a gift of connecting others. Like I would not have met you without him. And that connection is invaluable. And so his people are just all like the best people. Like the people I find in my recovery for alcohol and drugs, I feel like I find the same community in Todd Durkin's mastermind. Like
Yes.
they'll do anything for you. They are just, those are my people.
Yeah, the community has been pretty inspiring with Todd. I mean, I agree with you. I think once you meet Todd and the group that he that is associated with him and all the multiple different projects. You're kind of just on Team Todd, and you do the speaker course, and he inspires people to share that vulnerable side of themselves and share their story with others on the stage, which for me was really uncomfortable. So, meeting you in that speaker course for me personally was pretty inspiring to see you share so vulnerably the way that you did. Speaking of, I actually just completed your book, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes, which was a compelling story of really about you overcoming all of these odds, with your addictions. What inspired you to really kind of come forth and share so vulnerably that story?
So you might relate to how Todd is, right? So like 10 years ago, I joined his mastermind and I was like, Todd, I'd really like to write a book. And he's like, well, let's do it. He's like, do you have a name? And I was like, yeah, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes. And I tell you, I swear to God, Kathleen, he never let it go. Like we would be at Idea 5 years later, Booze, Blow, and Pancakes. He would just pull it out of his butt, just never let me forget that this was something that I wanted to do. He's like, Booze,
Yes.
Blow, and Pancakes will be coming out soon. I'm like, I just have the title, And through his community, like he would never not let me finish not doing it because it'd been 10 years. And through his community, I met Kelly Watson, who has Scripture
Yes.
Publishing. And I said, Kelly, like, I don't know how to write right. I can give you all my thoughts. And she goes, listen, no problem. All you have to do is talk in voice memo and tell me your story. And that's literally what I did. Chapter 1, secrets keep you sick. Oh man, I got some stories. And like I wrote, I
Yes.
just talked in a phone while my son was at soccer. And that's how I wrote my book.
You talk a lot in your book about purpose. Share with us your purpose and how the work that you're doing now aligns with that purpose.
Wow. I get really choked up talking about purpose because I can tell you I never thought I had purpose for anything. Like I never thought I was worth anything in life. Like the gum on the bottom of your shoe, I wasn't worth it. So for me to have any purpose is just to share my story so anyone who's struggling with addiction and feels that shame that I did and that stigma doesn't feel alone. So like if someone's listening now and I'm taking a little too much Xanax at night, or I'm smoking pot every day, or I'm drinking wine every night, but they just don't know what to do, there is something to do and you can get out of that cycle. That is my entire purpose, is to share with the still sick and suffering alcoholic here today that might be with us listening or out in the world. Just to know that if I can do it, like being homeless, living in a car, if I can turn it around, anyone can do it.
That's incredibly inspiring, and thank you for sharing that with us. You talk a lot about these personal and professional challenges. And so, what are you doing now to overcome these challenges as they come? Because life is full of challenges. Now you've turned to life of health, fitness, and wellness, and you've turned away from those behaviors that are not healthy. What do you do now to overcome these challenges as they hit?
Oh man, great question. And they do hit hard because I'm an addict, full blown, in everything I do. And for me, it's to start my day with meditation and prayer. And really, that's the slogans. I used to be like, what are these stupid freaking slogans? One day at a time, like literally one day at a time. Sometimes it's one breath at a time. When I get the overwhelming anxiety of my to-do list and like, all right, just stay in the day, stay in the moment. What's the next right thing? What's the next right thing? For me, that is, prayer, meditation, journaling, reading, going to recovery meetings. I'm very active in recovery, sharing at recovery meetings, helping others, anyone who asks for help, I'll help them. Literally being in my fitness, being in my body,
Yes.
because alcoholism is not just the alcohol. It could be the Amazon shopping. It could be working out. It could be work. Even when I was working and drinking, but I was always working. So, it's like the ism comes out in so many things. And I have to
Yes.
always be aware. Even the
Yes.
phone, like social media, like you're just like, I just spent
Yeah.
3
I
hours.
think we all have a little bit of that. Yeah. Absolutely. It's like it's like everything is on our phone, professional, personal. I feel like, a lot of times we're attached to our phone 24/7. You touched on something really interesting. I think people tend to have a difficult time separating who they are from their past. I don't know if that's something that you struggled with, but it can be very painful to think about and talk about perceived mistakes or mistakes that you have made in the past that hurt when you think about them. And so a lot of times people just tend to ignore them and gloss over them because it's just safer and more comfortable that way. What do you do to kind of move past things that you've done in the past that you're not proud of or that had brought you a certain level of comfort when you think about them?
Well, for me, Kathleen, I'm in a 12-step program. So there are these 12 steps and I kind of live by
Sure,
them. And like the first three steps, I can't, he can, let him. So I believe in God or the universe, but I can't, like my life is unmanageable, right? I came to believe that my life was unmanageable. I came to believe that God could help me, but I had to be open to it instead of fighting it. So those three steps I always carry with me. And then, the other steps are just like, making amends, saying sorry when you need to, doing a
sure.
daily inventory at the end of the day. Like, was I rude to my son today? Did he really need that? Mommy, I apologize. I was short with you, that you didn't deserve that. Just doing the next right thing. And in my program, it's about keeping your side of the street clean. How I control things
Sure.
today is my reaction to them. And we're all humans, right? We mess up sometimes, but taking accountability, helping others, and keeping the side of the street clean.
I love that. So it sounds that the 12 steps has been transformational for you. What other resources are important in terms of how you kind of go about your daily life? I know, health, fitness, and wellness. It sounds that pouring yourself into others has been even a source of comfort to you as you go about your daily life because you're just so invested in helping others.
Yeah. Like for me, somebody just asked me like, what would be next if you weren't personal training? Like, I love personal training women because there's no computer that's ever going to take my job away. There's no computer
Never.
that's ever going to take a hug away or turn your knee this way, or we're going to get through it together, or let me fix your hips. There's no computer. So for me, that connection is what it keeps me alive. Like I love life coaching and I do a lot of Zoom calls with life coaching. But for me, being on a computer all day does not fulfill my purpose. It does not light up my soul. I need to feel, see, hear you. And letting people know they matter. Like I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a people person. I have to be around people. It's who I am, and I think your purpose is what I heard Oprah say one, it's what lights up your soul,
I love that. Yes.
without a dollar amount, like what you do here with Coach 360, connecting people, showcasing people. You love it. It's so evident.
The profile pieces that we do, when we talk about individuals like yourself who have overcome incredible challenges in their life and come out on the other side to really do some impactful things in the industry and with their community, those types of pieces, I think those are what truly resonate with most people and especially with our community because I feel that a lot of people within health, fitness, and wellness a lot of times we have overcome, some sort of adversity, and we've turned our pain into purpose, as Todd always likes to say. So I think that those profile pieces are really important to let other people know that, there are challenges that might not necessarily be unique to them, that other people have experienced those challenges and that they can connect with those people if they ever just need to reach out and they need a virtual pat on the back or, a place to share their story or platform. So I think that people like you sharing your story, that's, one of the most impactful things that we can bring to the Coach 360 community.
Yeah.
So shifting gears a little bit, you lay it all out there in the book, which, I appreciate so much because, I don't tend to shy away from telling my story either. But what is something that people don't know about you or they couldn't find out in the book? Do you have any special talents or tricks?
Do a split at 55 years old, because I want to tell you something, Kathleen. I always wanted to be you when I moved here from Spain. I'm half black and Spanish, and I wanted to be blonde. I wanted to have a name Cindy, and I wanted to be a cheerleader, and that was not happening. Right? J-Lo and Drake were not big then, and so here I am, this brown girl, like not fitting in, and I was like, I know how I'm going to get to the top here. I'm going to become a cheerleader, and I used to do it like the split with one knee on the floor, like my dad's like, yeah, you you almost got it. I'm like, oh my God. And now I never ever let go of the fact of getting a split, and I can still do a split at 55 years old. And I didn't make the squad in 7th grade, but I did make it 8th grade. With my arms up, I was like, I got it. Yeah. So that's
Oh
one
my
thing.
gosh.
And the second thing is that I go to sleep to crime mystery every night. Every night, 48 hours. I don't know what it is about that guy's voice, but dun, dun, dun. And I'm like, okay, I fall asleep.
So stories about serial killers are relaxing.
I need help.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I do dive into that content as well, especially now with like the Netflix series that have come out about the various different. Do you watch those?
Oh my God, all of them. Like all of them, especially
Oh,
like the
I'm
Tinder,
obsessed.
Tinder horror stories, Ashley Madison. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I love it. I love it. So good.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
So good.
So you made a significant leap in your career and you are a thriving health, fitness, and wellness entrepreneur and accomplished author. So what advice would you give to a coach or a fitness professional that's, maybe they're just getting started or maybe they're stuck at some place in their life? What advice would you give them that to start their own business and to kind of make that leap to become an entrepreneur?
The number one advice I would give is to surround yourself with other people who are doing what you want to do. A hundred
Love that.
percent. Because you know what? When I was trying to build a business, I was trying to do it by myself. I was looking up, how do you do a business plan on Google? But I didn't know anybody who was a business. I was working at a big box gym, right? So like, there's no business plan for like LA Fitness. So I had to like get around other personal trainers who used to work at LA Fitness and then slowly started to go on their own and train at people's houses. And then they got insurance and then they did it in their basement and then they got a place, and I followed copy paste. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. And then once you have it, now that I am an entrepreneur, it's being around other entrepreneurs because it could be so freaking lonely. It is so lonely
Yes.
to figure out what janitorial service, how much money did I make, what analytics, like it's so yuck. I hate all of it. But when you know other people are in the trenches too, it doesn't feel so alone.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Al and I were just kind of having this conversation this morning. Just when you run your own business and, it's a startup, I mean, it's a constant grind, it's a hustle. We were laughing because he stays up really late and gets the work done. And I'm like, my mind starts racing. I'll wake up at like 2:45, 3 in the morning. I'm like, I got to get up. I got this list of 10 different things that I need to get out on paper. But yeah, I mean, to your point, it is, you're a business owner, it is a constant hustle. So you truly have to, really love what you're doing. And, I think most of us who are in this industry are in this industry because we're so passionate about health, fitness, and wellness, and we're passionate about pouring ourselves into other people. And we're passionate about, seeing others succeed and accomplish their goals. And it, ultimately, this is an industry where we all feel like a community. And I think that's very unique from other industries out there.
100%. And I just remember when I met Todd, he's like, you got to get on Instagram. I'm like, oh God, I don't know how to do like, I don't know anything.
I'm
Like
with
I
you.
still to this day, they're like, what software do you use for your gym? I'm like, I use a notepad, Kathleen Ferguson, 10 sessions with Sharpie, 10, 14, 10, 18. Like literally that's what I do. But he was like, you got to get on Instagram. People got to get to know who you are. And I would be like posting, trying like overthinking everything and get like one like, and I would be like,
Yeah.
what is the point of this? Like, why am I? But what I've found is that with social media, people get to understand your personality. They get to know who you are. And actually, the more real you are and the more you don't care about
Yes.
what it looks like, and I got a zit here and I got broccoli in my teeth and I'm laughing, the more people will identify with you. Because before, you get a lot of likes if you got the perfect picture in the sunset doing booty
Yes.
band. I know, I don't want to see another woman with a perfect butt doing, like, I want to see another woman who's like, I'm struggling. This is an
Yeah.
extreme sport, menopause, and can someone help me? And then that's what I try and relay. Like, what are you suffering with that I'm suffering with that maybe you don't feel alone? And I think as entrepreneurs, like that social media too can be like a real roller coaster, you know?
It can. And I mean, to your point, authenticity seems to be something that people really appreciate these days. You no longer, necessarily want to see everyone's highlight reel. I'll tell you, like we did a blooper reel for Coach 360, and it was
Yeah.
actually I think it was the most engaged with reel. It was like, me saying fuck and it was bleeped
Yeah.
out, and
Oh,
because I
fuck.
kept messing up my introduction. But yeah, I mean, I think that was everyone's favorite, which was kind of hilarious.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
was, we spend so much time like editing these reels and, trying to be perfect or, what we
Yeah.
perceive as perfect. And sometimes that's not what people really want to see. On that note, do you have anyone helping you with your social media? Your Instagram's actually really good. It's funny, it's real, it's gritty. I love it.
No, I used to have somebody, like I had a teacher who was a client. She used to write my blogs and she's like, I'm going to help you live your most abundant life. Like, get the fuck out of here. I never say abundant. Like, that doesn't even, somebody knows that that's not Yvette. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to
Sure.
be myself. And this is who I am. I'm like ridiculous. I'm raw. I'm funny. And now I know, I just am me. And now people know. They're like, that would never come out of her mouth. That is so not her. And you know what? I'm not for everybody, but I think you always find your people. You find your tribe.
You do. And I just don't know, Yvette, if anyone could truly capture your essence and try and do your social media. I feel like there's just no one that can do it. It has to be you. Here you are now, just living a credible journey, inspiring others with your story through, your book and, the life coaching and, everything that you're doing, with women to help them to transform their lives in the most positive way. What you do and your journey is truly inspiring. And, again, I know you touched on this a bit, but as a final question, I'd ask, what is your true motivation? What gets you out of bed every single morning to go on and do what it is that you do every single day?
My true motivation is honestly not training somebody to go into a bodybuilding show. My true motivation is to take Susie from the back row in a fitness class and put her in the front and make her feel that valuable that she would be like, move out, bitches. I'm here. Because that's what gives me person. That's what gives me purpose to take that scared girl that I was and tell her she's worthy. She matters. She's important. She's seen. She's heard. And if I can make that girl, Susie, from the back come to the front, man, my world lights up because that was
Yes.
me. I think a lot of women feel that way, especially women over 40. We're aging, we're changing, we're going through all this stuff and we're losing our hair, we're getting the middle and all this stuff. Like a lot of my clients, I was so hot in high school at that. I'm like, but you're still hot now. We're just going to do things differently. But you are seen, you're important. You're not just Jesse's mom. You are a
Right.
person.
It's a really great point. And something that you just touched on was, at least for my friends, a lot of them tend to, and I went through this as well. It's like you kind of forget who you are after you have children and the things that you once liked to do, that the music that you like to listen to, the things that you like to do at night, extracurricular activities. It's like a lot of that stuff goes to the wayside. I feel that in your phase, it's a really great opportunity, 40s plus, to start to rediscover those things about yourself and engage in the activities that you once loved. Because so many, I mean, I know so many women who are just like, I don't know what I like anymore. I don't know what kind of music I like. I listen to whatever the kids are listening to.
Yep. So true.
So,
I'm vacuuming with it. I like big butts and I cannot lie. My
oh,
son's
you
like,
don't even want to know what I'm listening to.
my son's like, Mom, that's so inappropriate. I'm like, yeah, but it makes me laugh. I think you're so right. I think so many women, we just have 3 kids. We're going to ShopRite. We're going to the school. We're going to gymnastics. We're picking up at this thing. It's just autopilot, autopilot. One day you wake up and your kids are gone and you're like, what do I want to do when I grow up? Who is this man sitting next to me? Are we even like, do I even know him? Do I even know
Right.
myself? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone always asks me, when I'm training in the gym, my friends will ask me too, why do you train so? What are you training for? And my answer is Vegas pool parties. I'm bringing you. Yvette, I wish that I could just bottle up your energy and your essence, for everybody because you're just such an incredible person. And I just love you. I really do. And I appreciate you being on here today. And I appreciate you sharing so candidly and vulnerably would love to, eventually, do a part 3 and, just continue the conversation. I'm always here to support you, when you need me. But how can the rest of the community get in touch with you if they want to reach out, or if somebody who's hearing this is maybe wanting to pick your brain on how to become an entrepreneur, or maybe they're struggling and they want to connect with you, how can they reach you?
At Yvette Salva Fitness on Instagram or Facebook. And I also have a website, Yvette Salva Fitness. And anyone who just wants, even if your son is struggling with addiction or you don't know where to go or you feel stuck, we can hop on a call and you're not alone.
That's wonderful for you to offer that out. How can people grab your book? Booze, Blow, and Pancakes.
Oh, yeah. That's on Amazon. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Yvette. This has been so much fun, and I know that we'll be in touch soon, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with our community. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Mwah, mwah.
Mwah.
Love ya.